Hi everyone, I'm Keramon, and I'll be your host today for the fourth episode of WAO Anime Reviews, which is Toaru Majutsu No Index. Along with me, we'll have Tsunami as our guest for this episode.
Toaru Majutsu No Index is an action and comedy anime based in a science fiction and fantasy world where magic and science collide.
Among light novels, it's an okay plot. It starts with a lone man, which is our main character Toma, running from a group of thugs. Soon after, a fight breaks out between Toma and Misaka Mikoto, also known as Railgun. Toma shows off his unique skill, Imagine Breaker, which is the power to cancel out any power his right hand comes in contact with, as Railgun soon discovers. But it seems power isn't the only thing his right hand cancels out, but just about anything it comes in contact with, which tends to give him a huge ton of misfortune. Moving along, after the fight, the next morning, he meets an odd girl named Index, who tells him about magic, which he laughs his ass out. Soon enough, he tests her statement by touching her magical clothes, which rip apart as the magic's undone, then proving that the unimaginable is true.
Nani?
Eventually, Toma finds out that Index is part of a cabal, or group of magic users, most of whom want to capture her for her knowledge of grimoires, which is 103,000 sacred texts that she has perfectly memorized into her brain. This brings us to a few fights between Toma and two magicians, where he kicks their magicians' asses after being almost killed. He discovers that Index has her memory erased every year so that the knowledge contained in her mind doesn't kill her. Toma, realizing that there is no way that alone would kill someone, attempts to stop the memory erasure from taking place. He succeeds and manages a brief moment of triumph before it all comes crashing down as a final attack causes him to lose his entire memory, and thus the plot uniquely twists. The art in Majutsu is overall a 9 of 10. It displays the fantastic animation as expected of JC's stuff. Seriously, beautiful. Great character designs and flexibility in the ways characters' expressions and actions are portrayed. Along with great animation, the background music also justifies itself for pure epicness. You don't get much soft techno in animes, but in Toaru Majutsu No Index, that's all they really have, and it makes the fight scenes really enjoyable. Now for the characters.
The characters are great. You get such a unique and diverse cast that are mostly likable, even characters who play very small roles in the first season. Even though Index is annoying as hell, she's not such a bad character. Index is a girl who is about 15 years old, but acts like an 11-year-old child because her memories were being wiped out every year. Oh, and she eats a lot. As for character development, what development? There is no character development for the two leads, though you do get backstory on Index, which is quite interesting.
Though Majutsu doesn't have the greatest quality in character development, I should mention that the voice acting is actually excellent, which is why this aspect receives about 7.5 out of 10. Overall, Toaru Majutsu No Index is an 8.5 out of 10. It's an impressive anime, although the characters threaten to drag it down at times. The only flaws that I can think of are that certain arcs tended to drag on too long and the partial lack of character development that you've all heard about. However, it has well enough written plot, dialogue, and art that I think even certain non-action fans will enjoy. This series is recommended to anyone who hasn't yet seen it. Again, I'm your host Keramon, and thank you for watching another episode from WAO Anime Reviews. Hit the credits!